Hello everyone, I'm back. And there was a change of plans of what to do yesterday. I did work on the C2, but I also decided, since several people were giving me a hard time about my guide code and how much extra work it was going to do and blah, 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 I decided to go ahead and show that it really wasn't. So, didn't take very long. A little, what do you call it, mouse sander, handheld mouse sander, and I took off my guide coat on the area that mattered. I didn't do it on the fender flare because I plan on redoing that anyway. That was just a scrap piece. But you can see that I took off almost all of the guide coat, and the only places where it still exists is in the low spots, which was the entire purpose of the guide coat. So I'll go ahead and remove that and then put a skim coat of body filler on that. But before I do that, I need to go on the back side and reinforce this. This is just a couple layers of fiberglass mat. And then I did not sand this down. I needed to figure out what the shape was. All of this edge made immediate curve inward where the turn signal was. And I needed to get rid of that, but I wasn't sure exactly what the contour would look like. So I just went ahead and, as you saw before, I put the fender behind it and then put the plastic behind and in between the two so it wouldn't stick, and then put fiberglass on top of here. I probably should not have sanded this as much. I should have left more because I did have the fiberglass extend out past the edge. But I really wanted to make sure this curve was right before I copied it, mirrored it over to the other side. So I said, all right, as long as there's enough, I leave enough to where it'll stay in place. When I remove the support from behind, then that'll be fine. So my plan was do this, go to the back side, and then on the back side, I will overlap all of the edges, reinforce it, then come to the front side, grind out this edge right here and taper it, and then bond that in place from the front side. So that's how I suggest people do that when they're trying to recreate something that exists. So I can show you what it looks like. So right now that fender is on the, let's see, the outside of this piece right here. So you can see there's the gap that's created by cutting out the opening, and then here's the fender that is behind and supporting it. So what'll happen is I'll put these two together and do the same thing. I am missing this section right here, all through here. So I've got to rebuild it and make it match. But you can see how in this case it did turn, and I tried to cut as much out as I could. If you come over here and look at the original, you can see what happened was it came here and then it immediately came out to make that circular shape. Well, I cut out this circular shape, but obviously the first time I cut it on the inside to be safe, and then I slowly trimmed it to where I got really close to that edge right there. But I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted it to do here, so I played it safe and left extra material, put the fiberglass on top, and then when I sanded it down at that edge, I sanded off the little bit that came out here. So that's why there's that gap all the way around. The other side's the same way. Let's flip this over. Yeah, the same thing here. You can see the original right there never did get completely finished. That didn't show up when it was painted, but then when I sanded through everything, and you can see that it needed a little more finish work. And again, the shop destroyed this. They should have left this bottom edge for me, so I have to rebuild this part that's just below where my hand is, because it doesn't exist on this one, but if I'm correct, yeah, it exists on this one. Luckily, it's pretty flat through this area, so I should be able to just take a piece of cardboard, wood, metal, whatever, and make this shape right here. This piece right here still exists on the original. So really, the major thing is this section right here, which again, like I said, I could get a flat piece of almost anything that's somewhat flexible and recreate the shape. It'll be real easy to make a template of this shape, so that's what I'll do, make a template of the shape, obviously off of the other one, not this one, but make a template of the shape, put a flat piece across here, and then reconstruct this first. Then I'll come in and do this part right here, which is already over there. And then, anyway, so that's what I got to do. And then let's go over to the C2 and I'll show you what I did over there. So this is the side I previously had done where the edge chipped off and exposed fiberglass, where the gel coat had no support behind it. This other side I sanded and it had a nice 90-degree edge almost all the way through here, but a couple of spots. Well, then I just took a piece of wood right here and ran it across here, and it exposed a bunch of, not a bunch, but enough places to cause concern where the gel coat just chipped right off with that piece of wood. And so the way I'm looking at it, and see all through there, this was just one little spot, and then when I ran that across here, I saw that that air pocket was really that much bigger. This was already there, and then there's a bunch of little ones. So I'm going to do the same thing on both these sides, where I take a piece of thin cardboard with aluminum tape on it, make this edge straight, and then come in from this side with fiberglass reinforced body filler and make this back into a 90-degree turn, but the 90-degree will be 100% supported by fiberglass. And then I'll come in and I'm sure there'll be a slight edge there, so I'll go ahead and fix that. Anyway, that's the best way I can think of to fix this and get this back to where it looks like it's supposed to look. All right, so that's my plan for today, and then I'm going to start tackling all of these other spots that are scattered about that need repair. The idea is to get this thing ready for priming and painting. And then this is another area I've got to fix right here. This whole area right there has got to be fixed. Again, there's just spots all over this thing that they're not horrible, but obviously, you know, I can't leave them alone. They've got to be fixed. All right, so like, subscribe, hit the alert, hit the thanks if you want to, and if you don't like what I'm doing, you don't know jack. Bye.